We're live. We are live. Happy Easter, everybody in the UK. It's Bank Holiday Monday, and Shaa and I have managed to get our shit together so we can actually have a conversation and record it. Yes.
And I am live from my bedroom. If anybody's wondering why I have a shower behind me and on the other side a bath, this is my bedroom in my Whitstable house. So yeah, I'm not literally going to get in the bath and do the live because that would be a whole different, that'd be a different thing altogether.
It looks like you're live streaming from a very large bathroom, but it's actually.
I should say this isn't just. I'm not in the bathroom. This is actually a bedroom. I'm not like sat here by the toilet. I promise.
Yeah, like on the toilet, live streaming from the toilet. No, you just gave me the tour, and it's beautiful. It looks very, very, very nice indeed. So, Shaa Wasmund, how's things?
They are good. It was snowing here earlier, and now it's really beautiful and sunny. So this country, it's like 4 seasons in one day. It's crazy. So yeah.
I don't know what to wear, right? I've seen people wearing shorts and t-shirt, and people wearing a fur coat, and that's only today.
100%. And down here, because we're right by the sea, it's kind of like it's deceptive as well. So it might be okay in your garden, and then you get down on the sea and you're like freezing your bollocks off. So yeah, I'm good. I mean, I can't wait till we can get out to Marrakesh or Barbados or go away. But there are worse places to be than Whitstable by the sea.
Yes, and and what's funny is like I've not even made it down to yours yet, have I? We've tried loads of times and it's just never happened. So that's like one of the first things at least if I can come down there, that'll be exciting.
Yeah, I think I'll get you down to, you can come to London, but we should come to Whitstable for a weekend. You'd love it. It's really good. Especially
in that big bedroom suite.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, well, I'm lucky because this house has done me, a lot of the time. I talk a lot about creating generational wealth that's not always, it's not just about what we earn here and now. And, I'm really fortunate that I invested in property, and this is one of them. And I rent this out at $3,500 a week during the summer months. And it's fully booked out the whole summer because I think so many of us, right, we're not going to be traveling. We're going to be staying put. I mean, I want to travel, but I don't want to travel if I have to stay in quarantine for 2 weeks when I get back.
Yeah, it's a funny one. It's just been a weird. I suppose let's start there. What's 2020? What was 2020 like for you?
I was going to say it's a year of reflection, but I think it was a year of realization about what I wanted to do and what I didn't want to do, what was important to me, what wasn't important to me. Like you, I've been through, a fair few of my own challenges in life, and it made me realize, well, what is actually really important to me and what is just noise. And I think for me, it was being really clear that I'm only going to do the work that I absolutely love and only work with the people that I really love working with. And that's it, because, alternatively, I'm very fortunate. I could probably do nothing. I'd get incredibly bored. I'm not saying I've got enough money that I could buy a Ferrari and a helicopter and do nothing, but I could live a nice, comfortable life without doing it. But that's not where we work, right? A lot of us, I know that you've hit 7 figures recently, and people think that, I think I saw you post about this, that you think that when you hit that point, a unicorn is going to arrive on your front door on a magic rainbow carpet. And it's just like, there's an old hip hop track, more money, more problems.
Yeah, right.
And I think there's a lot to be said for that sometimes, right? So the bigger you build your business, the bigger your problems. You've got more staff, you've got more complexities. So yeah, I think that for me, it was like, let me get back to basics. What are the fundamental things that are really, really important to me?
Yeah, because you've done some like big glamorous stuff, right? I remember when we first had our first conversation, you just thought like, we did like this was years ago, so like 3 million. And I just remember I was walking, I've told this story all the time, I was walking down the canal, and my phone just started flashing up, and it's like Shaa Wasmund ringing me on Facebook Messenger. And then I dropped my phone in the canal. I was like, what on earth is Shaa ringing me for? I was like, hello? And you were like, hi, you've just been tagged about 40 times in my group and you're not even in it. So I just want to say, well done for your marketing, and can you come in and talk to our people? And I was like, yeah, of course. And then when we were chatting, you said, I did 3 million. I remember putting the phone down thinking, right, Shaa can do it, I can do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can have a conversation like just normal people. There's nothing, no offense, but you know what I mean? It's like, I can do it, Shaa can do it, I can do it. There's not some kind of thing. And I was like, right, 3 million, that's my new target. Like, and I think when I talk about that, it's because of that conversation. And I think normalizing, for me and you, I know, normalizing these conversations about money is so important.
It's so important at whatever level you're at, normalizing the conversation around where you want to get to. And I also think it's really important that we don't lose our feet and our humility along the way. So I would never think that I'm too big to reach out to someone and call them and say, hey, I've been seeing what you're doing. Well done. That's great work. Because along the way, we all need a little fillip, right? We all need someone to say, tap us on the back and go, good work, right?
Yeah, right.
And just like you, I've always been, if somebody can do this, then I can do it too. I just have to figure out how.
Yeah, and I think I've been paying that forward ever since. Like, it's a massive part of my sort of values in business. It's like, yeah, I am super busy. I know I don't answer everyone who wants a piece of me, but when I decide I can reach out to people, and I know it makes a difference. And it's like, it's a gift, right? It's a gift to be able to do that for people. We've just hired a head of happiness, and her job is to just make sure people are happy, and we want to do good things and have a good impact on the world. And I think that's really, really important when it comes to values-based. And I don't know about you, but just as the end of right at the beginning of 2020, just before we locked down, Phil Harris and I, who I know you know, we were flying business class. We were like in the bar upstairs in the A380, and we were just like, this is it. This is the beginning of this massive year. We're going to do all this scaling. And then COVID hit, and it was like you said, it was like this year of complete reflection of like, and I know if we'd have gone for what we wanted to do then, the business would have collapsed underneath us. We just didn't have the structure in place.
This is such an important conversation, and I'll tell you straight. Like, when we were doing 3 million a year, nobody asked you, but what were your overheads? Because we were doing big partnerships where I would speak on other people's stages. So I felt like a show pony, right? Like, hey, we need some money. Off you go, Shaa. Go speak on stage.
That's for a meeting. I'll go and make another 30 grand. Yeah.
Right. And you know, I'm grateful that I had those opportunities too. But make no mistake about it. For most people in this industry, it depends on where you're at in your business, right? You need to be asking the questions. Okay, so that's your turnover, but what are you taking home? What's your profit in the business? Because you could be doing 3 million and taking home less than somebody doing 500,000. And I think we get numbers twisted. And I want people to get focused on sanity metrics, not vanity metrics. So if we're going to hit 3 million, I'd like to see Helen taking one of that home for herself, not taking home 200 grand. Because quite honestly, she could work with one-to-one clients and take home 250 grand. So this is where I want people to understand, what does the right business model look like for you? And it's not worrying about what other people are doing. It is acknowledging that if somebody else has done it, then you can do it too. And I took a real sanity check last year, and I pulled back on everything apart from, my core things like the 6-figure club, supporting my good friend Stu McLaren on his tribe launch, and running my mastermind. So we probably had our lowest year in business for a long, long, long time. But I reduced all my overheads at the same time. I didn't get impacted. I didn't take home any less money. So when you stack that up, you're like, and don't get it twisted. Like, I took home I didn't take home, but in my private business, because I have 2 different businesses, I probably did about 500,000 on my one-to-one work and my mastermind by itself, by itself, right? But I paused on the big launches and I paused on the big programs until I was really sure about what I really wanted to do from this point for the next 5 years. And Michelle, you're right. It is the sanity metrics. So for me, 2020 was all about the sanity metrics. So I didn't skip a beat because I was still taking home the same amount of money. And that's what I want people to get focused on. Yeah, so you could be making 6 figures in your business and taking home 20 grand, which means that you would be better off working in McDonald's. And that is not what any of us want, right? So it is about getting focused on income first, not just profit first in your business, but income first into your own bank account.
Yeah, do you think people put themselves at risk? Because we could talk about the online space all day, right? I know we could talk about the online space all day long, right? It's good and it's bad and all that kind of stuff. But I think people just get that completely twisted. They just focus on that turnover number. And I know when I hit it, a lot of people are like, yeah, but what was your profit? And it was like, don't worry about that. I understand the difference, but I'm still pleased that I hit 7 figures in my business. It still felt like a milestone. Even though
it is a milestone.
It is a milestone, but that's all it is. It's just a milestone.
you should sell it. So the difference that I've seen with you, and let's just say other people in the industry that I see talk about their figures all the time, is one, the way in which you talk about it. So I think there's people in the industry who throw around their numbers just purely to say, oh, look at me, I'm so awesome, I'm so amazing, as opposed to saying, this is my journey. So when I talk about that, this is my 5th 7-figure business and my first online business, I say that for the context that, hold up, this is not my first rodeo. I have got a lot of experience outside of this across multiple industries. I'm not just making my money telling other people how to make their money. I'm not a business coach with no business experience teaching other business coaches how to make money, because I ain't got no time for that. And when you hit your 7 figures, of course you should be proud. Anyone who hits their numbers should be proud and celebrate it. Whether it's 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, your first $500,000, your first 10K month, your first 7 figures. But very quickly afterwards, I saw you go, but hold up a second, everyone. Let me also tell you what this means, right? Let me tell you what this means. Because yes, I hit 7 figures, but I've also had all these challenges and all these costs and all these additional, so that people don't just think they hit 7 figures and then that's it. They're done for life. Everything's going to be amazing, because it doesn't work like that.
Don't you think that a lot in the online space, it's so easy to make money? You've got to be really careful, because we're just not, like, I've only ever earned 20 grand a year in a job. So like, I was not prepared from a wealth point of view for this. Like, and I can see how people just get completely overwhelmed if you don't get the right people in place and systems in place and all that kind of stuff. It's took me a while to get all that lined up. So I wasn't just A, spending all my money, and B, protecting myself for the future. Like, anything could happen to our businesses, right? And I have got a business background, but a traditional business. Like, I'm not worried that I wouldn't be able to make it again. I would. But I do worry sometimes when I see people have this quick success who are then thinking this is going to be it forever. And it's never forever, is it? It's always a changeable feast.
I think it's always a changeable fee. And I think you change as well. Like, I don't just mean you have, I mean, I do, we all do, right? So what you want out of life today might be different in 3 years' time or 5 years' time. And I think that businesses should always be a work in progress. And your business model should always be a work in progress, because the model that got you here will probably not get you there.
Yeah, and certainly the person you are that got you there, you have to completely up-level yourself as a person, as well as your team and your systems and your tech and all that, every level. Like, and it's kind of painful, right? Growing pains, but it's worth it, right? Because like you say, you could earn more money just doing one-to-one consultancy. I could definitely earn the same money I take home doing one-to-one, but I'm not impacting as many people, right? And that's, for me, what drives me. So like for you, Shaa, like in terms of the business model, because I know we talked about this quite a bit. So we're partnering up on your latest workshop, which is coming up on the 8th. We're getting the dates right, is that right? And for me, what I thought was really, really interesting about it is it's about picking the right model first. Yeah. So what would you say, like, are the main business models that you're going to talk about in the workshop?
Yeah, no, happily unpack this. So what I'll share with you as well is that 9 out of 10 people that I work with, whether it's one-to-one, and, you know, the people who come to me to do one-to-one work, they're already hitting 6 figures. And so it's about scaling it. So those people, and the people who are even, you know, in my membership in the 6-figure club, who maybe are just starting out or they're 2 years into their business, whatever place on the spectrum they are, 9 out of 10 times they have the same challenge, which is they haven't got the right business model. And so to me, what this looks like is we're constantly told that we need to find the missing piece in the jigsaw puzzle and then everything's going to fit. Or we're told that we need to learn how to do this one thing, and then once we do that, everything will fit. And you see people, I'm sure you see this in your audience, flipping and flopping all the time. So they go, I'm going to go do online courses, and then they do it for a little bit and they don't get the numbers they thought they would, and they're like, oh, it can't work. It worked for sure, it worked for hell, but it won't work for me. Right, I'm going to go and do group coaching programs. Or they start off doing group coaching programs and go, oh my God, this is such a headache. I don't want to be dealing with all these people. Right, I'm going to go do a membership, without stopping and pausing and saying, hold up a second. Who do I really want to be? How do I really want to show up? Who do I really want to serve? And how do I want to serve them? And once you figure those 4 things out, then you can say, right, what is the right business model for me? Not for Shaa, not for Helen, but for me. And to me, that's like saying, right, you've got all the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle already there on the table. It's just learning how to put them together so they all fit. So I think the key models when we talk about an online business are online courses. But then even when you talk about online courses, are you going to do live launches or are you going to do evergreen? Again, there's a difference. Memberships, group coaching programs, masterminds, and there's a difference between the group coaching program and a mastermind, quite a big one. Most people don't understand that. Sometimes there is then like a physical product funnel. So we're just about to launch a physical product funnel for our planners. So, you know, when you start off in the online space, you're thinking, most people I think I'm going to start a group coaching program, or I'm going to start online courses, or I'm going to start a membership. But I think that most people just take a guess at which one's going to be right.
Yeah. Whoever they like, whatever they're telling them to do, they're like, let's do that. Because they just want to make money. People just want to make some money. I have this model called value, joy, profit. And I think that's the thing. People are so focused on how can I make some money. I don't care if I'm going to enjoy it or I'm going to like the people or the model. You know, it's kind of like, as long as I'm giving value and I'm making some money, it's okay. But yeah, this is going to be really interesting. I personally can't wait to come to the workshop. I think it's going to be really, really interesting. Really, really.
Yeah, and I've got to tell you that, like, I've been working on this and this program for the whole of 2020. This is all the work that I do with people who I work with one-to-one. It's all the work I do in my mastermind. And I just realized that this wasn't just a problem for people who were scaling. It was a problem for everyone who's hit a plateau. Every time somebody hits a plateau, the first thing you've got to look at, well, there's two things you've got to look at when you hit a plateau. One, your mindset, because I'm going to tell you straight. You can't outgrow your mindset. Your business will never, ever grow beyond your mindset. And I think that we've been conditioned to believe that we'll invest time and money into learning a new skill or a tool for our business, but we won't do it for our own mindset. And I'm like, I've recently signed up to, I interviewed her for my podcast and she just wowed me so much. I signed up for like 20 grand of a 6-month program on my mindset. And I actually thought my mindset was pretty good.
Always a work in progress though, like you say, right? Always.
Well, for me, it's like if I could have a 1% shift in my mindset, that might actually make me 25% on my bottom line. So, you know, I'm a massive fan in mindset. So the first thing is you've got to work on, when you hit a plateau, you've got to work on your mindset to break through the plateau. But then you have to look at your business model because, like I said, 9 out of 10 times, there is something wrong with your current business model that's not serving you anymore, or it's not allowing you to scale the way that you want to. Or it's just actually, it's what you said, Helen. This is what I see as well, that your business model actually isn't making you happy. That you're doing it because you think it makes you money, but it's not making you happy. And so when you're not happy doing it, you're never going to give it your all because you're like, oh, I'm doing this because I've got to make money, but I don't really love it. Yes. So,
and what you loved one love with as well, right?
All the time. I wish people would talk about this more and be really honest about it. Like, how many times have you fallen out of love with your business? Because I know that I have.
Loads. It's like a toxic relationship sometimes. It's like, but what's great is you can change it. And that's what I love about it, right? You're in control. Yeah. Entrepreneurs, we love change, so you can change it.
Absolutely. It's not like a relationship where you can just swap in and out on a daily basis. And I'm not suggesting you should do that with your business on a daily basis. But I do think that literally on a 6-month basis, you should stop and check with yourself. Is this the right business model for me? Am I still in love with my business? So for me, it's about 3 things, and that's what you've got. Loads of people asking you for the link. So do you want to put the link?
I'm pop it up now, and listening to you. There you go, guys. Go check it out while we're talking about it. I'm too busy listening. Come on.
So it's 3 things. First is your mindset, then it's your model, and then the third one is, right, I've got my head straight and I've got my business model nailed. How do I now monetize it? It's really learning, like, from the best people that you can on how do I monetize it. Because like I said, you want to create online courses. Listen, I've made multiple 7 figures from online courses. I've sold over 20,000 courses. I love courses, but there's not just one way to do courses, right? So you can do courses where you teach it live. So you could do a 6-week program and it's a course, but you show up in a Facebook group once a week. You could do an entire self-study program that you don't have anything to do with. You could live launch the self-study program. So you could do the launch live and then it's all self-study. So my friend Susie Ashworth does that. I typically like to teach live through my courses, but then you could have an entirely evergreen. So my pop-up product program it's evergreen the whole way through. So
we just bought that, by the way. I was like buying that. Someone else will go through it, but we just bought it. Yeah, I'll let you know when we get on with it.
Yeah, I created a product for 47 quid that's absolutely, just go and look at it. You don't have to go through it, just look at it. it's a 500 quid value program. And that's what I wanted people to feel. I wanted them to go through it, go, oh my God, if this is what I get for 47 quid, then what's the next thing I can do with Shaa?
Yeah, love it. And how much have you made off that from our friend Clubhouse?
Oh my God. I need to check my figures, but I reckon we're on, I like to say we're on 75k since January.
Nice.
Yeah. For a £47 product.
Like, it's a lot of sales, that's a lot of sales.
Sydney, you made my day. You have no idea, Sydney, how much my design, I obsess over design. Like I obsess.
Very slick, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I think when I go to buy things off people that I admire, I'm looking at everything. I'm not just, I know I'm going to buy it, it's going to be great. I'm looking at the UX, I'm looking at the design, looking at all the stuff, and I'm like, yeah, this is what it gets like when you're at your level of experience, right? And you've made all the mistakes, and you've probably had, I'm sure you've had things that haven't gone so well, as well as things that have.
Oh my God, I've had so many things that haven't gone so well, but I'll tell you the one thing the one thing that always goes right is my design, because I started off working with James Dyson around a kitchen table when I was just like 21, and I got obsessive about design through working with him. Like nobody knew who he was at the time. We started literally around his kitchen table in his house in Bath. He's now a billionaire, but I spent 5 years working with him, and my design obsession came from that. So other things might, as the track goes, I've got 99 problems, but design ain't one. Design ain't one.
I love it. Right, back to the workshop then. So what's going to happen? So how long is it, by the way?
So it's 8 p.m. So it's 8 p.m. and it's going to be anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes. Let's go for 75, because I think that too often people run workshops and you need time to go deep onto stuff, right? Like you need time to go deep onto stuff. Now I'm super excited about what we've got to come. But I want to have enough time to really dive deep with people. And I think that's really important. Yeah.
It's going to be so good. Again, it's just like watching the master at work. So it's great for us as a partner as well. So clearly, we're partnered up. I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about why you chose me to be a partner. I was very honored, but
yeah, definitely. And also for full transparency, because I believe in total full transparency. On Thursday, I'm going to be opening up a new program called Empowered, and it's what I've been working on for the whole of 2020. And it is literally to help you create a 6-figure business model in 6 weeks. Not just making 6 figures, but learning how to take 6 figures home. And I only wanted to work with people who I felt had the same work ethic as me, who had the same values and morals as me, and whose audience were action takers. Because the truth is, whether you learn from Helen or you learn from me or you learn from anyone, if people don't actually take action on what they're taught, nothing's actually going to happen, right? So for me, working with you was like, I just thought we'd have fun. I think our audiences have a good crossover. We're completely non-competitive. I can support your tribe where they're at in their journey. You can support my tribe where they're at in their journey. And I think that more than anything, we share very similar ethics and values and morals. We come from similar backgrounds. So I think we really appreciate the hard graft. We really appreciate that this didn't come from a trust fund. It didn't come, from a man. It didn't come from inheritance. It came from sheer hard work. And I think that's really important.
We're a big fan. So talking about ethics and morals, let's just while everyone's having a good look at your beautiful website.
Wait till I send. I've got another link to send you when we get off of here for you. It's not live yet, but I'm going to send you another link, and you're going to be like, "Oh my God, it is." So, I think you know Susie Ashworth. I don't know if you know her, how well you know, but it's Susie Ashworth. She's in our space as well. She's in a different space, but in the online space. And Susie actually lives in Whitstable. And to cut a long story short,
this morning, actually, Susie and I, about something completely different. But go on, yeah, I've never met her or spoke to her until today.
She's fab. And I showed her the link and she was like, oh my God, I have serious FOMO. That page, I need to redo all my designs. So I'll share that with you. But I know what we're going to talk about now. Come on, let's do it.
Rachel Hollis. I am not a drama triangle type person anymore. I used to be. I used to have an opinion on everything, and I'm not that person anymore. But I've been scrolling through just today, obviously, like we all have. And I'm like, what has gone wrong here for this? Like, what's happened with this woman? Like, I'm confused on a couple of things. A, what's really happened, because I don't follow her. But B, like, at what point did this seem like a good marketing angle? What's your thoughts?
Okay, so I've got a lot of thoughts, but I'm gonna do it in reverse order. So the challenge that I have with this scenario now, and I know we're having this conversation, so in a way we are adding fuel to the fire. So I want to put this into context that, and I have posted about it publicly myself. So again, I have added fuel to the fire. I want to just be really honest with people, but I'm now concerned that what I'm seeing now is people trying to benefit from her downfall. People are trying to leverage her downfall for their uplift. And I don't think that's cool. I don't think it's cool to build your building by tearing somebody else's building down. I agree.
From a pure marketing point of view, that's how I look at this stuff. You know, I know we've had conversations about other certain people, which we won't mention. And I'm like, I look at it as like, these are switched on, intelligent, successful people. Like, what is the thought process behind this stuff? Because deep down, I always think this must be a marketing thing, because you would never.
No, I don't think so. I think you have some very, very, very narcissistic people in the world, and by default, you're going to have some of those people in this industry, right? But like I said, I don't believe in building my power up by tearing someone else's down. That said, like I said, I'm going to do this in reverse order.
Yeah.
I think that she's undergoing enormous probable mental health challenges. I'm not going to cut her all that slack, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But she's gone through a divorce. Her ex-partner is very happy and very publicly very happy all over Instagram.
Right.
Let's put ourselves in her shoes. How would we feel if our ex-husband was
they built that plan together, right? So I remember when they got divorced, and I remember reading, and again, I didn't follow her, but that's when I first heard her name, and I was looking at these people like having this complete meltdown about this woman getting divorced, and I was thinking, why are these people so emotionally attached to their relationship?
Part of the reason, and this is where the challenge starts, is that she was selling courses on relationships with her husband during a time period when their marriage was on the rocks. They were going through divorce counseling. And so it felt very inauthentic for you to be preaching about how to build a long-term sustainable relationship when at that point they were pretty sure they were getting divorced. Now, I'm not saying you can't talk about, if you'd said, we're going to run a course on how to maintain a successful relationship. And by the way, we're going to be really real about it, because some of the way you do that is by navigating the ups and the downs. And right now we're in a dip, and we're going to be sharing that dip with you too. I think everybody would have embraced.
Everyone would have loved that. Surely they would have really thought that was great.
But they didn't. They kept it secret, so they didn't say anything. So, you know, she's coming out of a divorce and seeing her ex-husband happy and all over Instagram with his new partner. I think that's harsh. And I think that's hard. And I personally think that you probably need to give each other some space off of flaunting your next relationship on social media. Personally, I think that's just like, I don't think that's helpful. That said, I think that she has some inherent issues. I think she's inherently racist. I'm going to say it straight. I think that she comes from a very particular type of white American upbringing, who the way she spoke about her cleaner, like you have a cleaner, I've had a cleaner since I was 21. My number one business tip has always been hire a cleaner.
Yeah.
So I get it. There's nothing wrong with having a cleaner. I love my cleaner, but I wouldn't describe my cleaner as the person who cleans my toilets. Like, that is just, out of all the things that you could say, you could call them your housekeeper. You could say, my cleaner who just, oh my God, she saves my life because I don't have to do the ironing or the washing. But to link her with the person, it like dehumanized her. And she's also stolen a lot of Black American authors, female American authors' work and taken it as her own, apologized afterwards. Her apology blamed her team. Oh, it wasn't me.
I did see that. I did see that. I was like, oh.
Yeah. I just think, but like I said, there are some things I don't think you can excuse. Yeah. Inherently, I think she needs to go and take a good hard look at her own. She needs to go and take a good hard look at her own privileges and how she shows up in the world. And she said she doesn't want to be relatable. Well, congrats, because you are now totally not relatable to anyone.
I did see that, yeah.
But despite that, I feel sorry for her, because I think that I wouldn't wish anyone to go through a public divorce and then have that flaunted in their faces in public. I just don't think that's cool. I don't think it's nice. And I think it adds undue pressure onto an already pressurized situation. That in no means condones or justifies her behavior. I'm just saying that, we never know the whole story, right? That's all I'd say.
Yeah, it's a worry. Have you ever had anything that you've put out that you've had a backlash on that you weren't expecting, or have you ever had anything like that? I've never seen anything, but I've only been.
No, I mean, there are people in the industry who don't like me, but I'm fine with that.
Plenty of people who don't like me. That's fine. That's not what I meant. I just think sometimes I think, oh, maybe I've just posted the wrong thing, or say, I know.
Yeah, I'm very outspoken about the things that matter to me. So what really matters to me is equity, whether it's gender equity or it's race equity. And I'm very outspoken about both of those things. I have been told on multiple occasions, funny how nobody will say this publicly, they'll message me privately to tell me that I, as a white person, by the way, this is all white people telling me this, I, as a white person, shouldn't be publicly speaking as much as I do about Black lives.
It was so confusing, that whole episode and I was like, I was like about it in the headlights. I was just like, I do not know what to do. It felt like every way anyone stepped, there was somebody who was very upset. It was really, really difficult. I thought we'd had it worse coming out of Brexit and the election, and then that, and then
I think the challenge for a lot of people is being fearful of saying the wrong thing. And because this is something that's been important to me for 20 years, I don't feel like, and I lead with, I might say the wrong thing. I might not use the right phrase. And by the way, guys, if I don't pick me up on it, I'm big enough and strong enough to take it. Just know that I'm always going to lead with my heart to want to do better. And because I've been speaking on these topics for so long, there's plenty of people in this industry who know that. And so, the only people who called me out were people who were telling me it wasn't my place as a business owner to get myself involved in politics. I was like,
yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
It's my business. It's my business.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm super vocal on things that I know about. I understand that I'm vocal about, have been all my life. It's just weird when people get on onto some kind of bandwagon where they're like so emotionally vocal about stuff, but it's almost like they're just enjoying it. Like you say about the downfall. Again, we had a few people who were like well-known people, I can't remember off the top of my head, who were just getting absolutely dragged to bits because they've not said something. That scared me a bit. I was like, that whole silence is violence thing. I was like, hang on, these people are people. Don't people get to choose? Like, don't be, and they were a lot of people got very vigilante about dragging other like influencers down and forcing them to do some like apologies and all that kind of stuff. And it just felt really toxic. The whole,
So my attitude on most things is always that we should look to pull people in rather than call people out. Because if you call someone out and you make them change their behavior through guilt, then that's not real. It's not going to last. So why, that defeats the whole purpose. But, I'll take our friend Rob Moore as an example. Rob Moore had, and he won't mind me sharing this, Rob Moore had a lot of people in his community who were speaking up, not just his Black community, but, outside of that, who were speaking up saying, Rob, you've got a very, very big audience. This is actually really significant to a big chunk of your audience, and you're not addressing it. Rob felt very uncomfortable, not because he didn't want to speak up, but because he didn't know what to say. And he was afraid of saying the wrong thing. So 46 WhatsApp messages later, I persuaded him that, he came down to Whitstable and we did a live together about having uncomfortable conversations. Yeah. And what I shared with Rob was that the challenges in conversations, so let's say it's around gender. If women only have women-only conversations around gender, nothing's going to change. We've been living this our whole entire lives. We cannot change the gender conversation in any shape or form without men involved in the conversation. So the same is true when it comes to, race equity, when it comes to Black Lives Matter, when it comes to really recognizing that you and my audience are made up of all kinds of different people. And are we really truly speaking to all of our audience? Are we really making all of our audience feel like we are for them? So I said to Rob, the thing is that your audience needs to be having these conversations in order for change to happen. White people need to have conversations around race in order for change to happen. Men need to be having conversations around gender and gender equality and equity in order for change to happen. So I just think that you can't force people to do things, but you can try to pull them in. And you know, for you, Helen, it's not about everybody has to have the same passions. It's for our own different upbringings and circumstances. You have to talk about the things that matter to you, right? And that's all that we should do. There's no point jumping on a bandwagon because somebody's forced you to do it. You'll just jump right back off again.
Yeah, no, we had Jenny Kovacs came in and did a workshop in our paid communities. It was just so fascinating. It's like when you really understand how privileged you are, and you know, and just to have her come in and talk to us, really appreciated that. But publicly, I was kind of like, I was a bit like, whatever I do here, I feel like I'm gonna get someone down. I just see a lot of people in the comments, just generally, just having a right go at each other, and it just
we're in a cancel culture. I think we're in a cancel culture as well, right? I think we're in a cancel. And I don't buy into any of that. I think I'm just all about the positivity. I just believe that wherever I'm going, I want to take as many of us up with me. And I know that's how you feel, and that's why we get on. And for me, it's about, I want more people to be able to experience the kind of lives that you and I have right now. You know, I've just seen Kelly, yay, Whitstable. Kelly's in Sevenoaks. May, I've got a beautiful house here, you know, on the beach in Whitstable. I've got a beautiful house in London. I get to do whatever, you know, pretty much I want to do. And I don't share that to brag. I'm saying, like, let's put this in context. I grew up in a hostel for homeless families. Like, I'm the first one in my family to go to university. I come from nothing. But today I have proper freedom. I have proper financial freedom that allows me to make choices. And it allows me to make choices about what I want to do. It allows me to coast in my business like I did in 2020 because I wasn't sure about what I wanted to do. And I just needed some time to figure it out. And that's what I want for everybody.
Living my dream. That's what I'm coming your way. This is it. You see, this is what you've got. What I want. This is why, I'm like, I'll just listen to you, absorb everything you've got. I'm not remotely triggered by you. I'm not triggered by anyone's success. You know, I just think this is what I want. And I know I'm you for some people, and it's like, it's a privilege, and it's an honor, and it's weird.
You are proof, and I am proof to everybody listening and watching this that it's possible for them in the nicest possible way. As you said before, it's not like there is something special about Helen and I, but it's not anything that other people can't tap into. Yeah. What's special is that Helen and I tap into it. That's what's special.
And we do it. We do with the things that we need to do to get the things that we want, right?
We get decisive, we get committed, and we take action. It doesn't always work out. We don't always get it right. Sometimes we fall flat on our face, but then we get back up and we do it all over again.
Exactly. And everyone's behind us, like, doing the same thing in microcosm. Everyone's just on the path, right? Everyone's just, you know, when I came onto the scene, Shaa was already 5 years, 10 years ahead of me or whatever, you know, same with other people like Dan or whatever. Like, it's just the way it is. And there'll always be people who just coming onto the scene into my world who'll, you know, and I think that's the natural order of things in business. That's how it should be. You
might decide in 5 years you don't want to do this anymore. I might decide that. Who knows? But for the here and now, let's make the most of it. Let's have the most enjoyment and make the most money so that we can have choices and options.
Yes, and I mean, it sounds tweet, but it's like, it's all about helping more people, right? Because we want more people to do the things so they get the things that they want, whatever their success looks like. Might not be what we want, but it's whatever they want. So yes, first step, get yourselves up to the onto this workshop. Now, an interesting point, when Shaa asked me to partner, it was an easy yes. However, I did consider it because, do you know what? I've never affiliated for anyone before.
I didn't know that.
Once, Denise Duffield-Thomas, when I first, she doesn't even run an affiliate program. I've signed up to be a couple of times, but never actually promoted anyone else. So it's quite a big deal for me. I've always been very focused. I'm just doing my thing. I'm doing my thing. You know, people affiliate for me. I don't affiliate for other people. So it's like a whole new world for me. But like, it was on the agenda for 2021. It was like JVs, proper JVs, really, really important. So it's kind of like the universe delivers. And I'm as interested in learning about the back end of this and meeting the other people and getting to know the other partners as I am with the money. For me, it's not about the income, it's about the strategic opportunity, if that makes sense, to be more in the world and see how it works from the inside.
And I've I've partnered with
So you just love randoms on the internet.
Oh my God.
We managed to start off a stride. That was a good one.
I was about to say what it just said. Yeah, so for me, Helen, I think it's also about, you build relationships with people, right? You build relationships with people over the long term. So I've partnered with Stu McLaren, for 3 years in a row, because he's a really good friend and I really believe in him. And that's the difference, right? I don't partner with anyone and I don't do very many partnerships, but I partner. When I go in, I go all in. Like I'm doing this, I'm all in because I believe in what this person's doing. And I'd rather do that and stay doing that with a core group of people for the next 5 years than keep chopping and changing, because I don't think that feels very authentic either.
Yeah, definitely. You got to do the hard yards. It's got to become time served as well.
100%.
Oh, so I could talk to you all day, but I won't, because you've got stuff to do. Right, okay, let's go before Brandon embarrasses himself anymore. But that's brilliant. It's probably one of my
Brandon,
favorites.
I hope you have a wonderful afternoon, evening, whatever you're doing, which you've given us a good guess what you might be doing.
Yes, Brandon, go and have a nap and a snack. Right, okay, so for everyone else, maybe not Brandon, please come along, click on the link, shaa.com/Helen, or if anyone's watching this and wants any more info, just DM me and I'll send you the stuff. Not you, Brandon. Please don't DM me. So have a fantastic rest of a bank holiday, everybody. Thank you so much, Shaa. I can't wait to come and see you in the live. See you later. Bye, guys.